Welcome back, everybody, after what was a break, which was shorter than I expected it to be. We are here for game number 1 of Na'Vi going up against HellRaisers. We already did the drop, but there was some server problems, hence we had to have ourselves a quick remake and come back in. There was some patching that had to be done, as Valve has released a new patch to the game, which I thought was going to cause a hell of a lot more delays, but didn't, so I was wrong. I'm happy. We get to go directly into the matchup after the draft is done. So Na'Vi already having a bit of a rough start tonight with their 0-2 result up against Team Empire. HellRaisers only dropping 1 game so far in the D2CL, and that 1 game was to NIP. So they're running a high train right now where Na'Vi are actually in jeopardy of not making the LAN finals, which is still yet details to be confirmed at a hopefully soon date. For everyone that is watching, there should be a LAN finals for the D2CL. Should be.
Prepare for battle.
I believe there is. Unless they change their mind. Everything is a little bit messy with tight schedules as we are rapidly approaching TI. Alright, but let's run through our lineups. We'll check where everyone is. We did this before, but for everyone who's watching on the VOD, I'm sure you weren't watching for this. So up towards the top lane, we'll be having Gorik. He'll be the Centaur up on the top. But it's Dread supporting SD on bottom. He's there with Afo. He'll be going towards the middle lane as the Storm Spirit. Juggernaut towards the safe lane, played by Artis. And looks like our first blood. Nope. They won't be able to catch up to Dread. Goblak does have Fissure, so they should be able to catch up to Dread here. They just know he's going to defensively Fissure. Shockwave also, Denny wants to have that leveled up. But they fall over themselves a little bit here. Phobos need to be the first one on the front lines to get the clap. And now Dread might consider turning in on this one. Disruption into spin with Static Remnant will dish out a hell of a lot of damage. So both teams are not willing to give this up. Na'Vi want to control the jungle and not give anything to Chen. Which means they gotta drop down a couple of wards. Do we actually have sentries in the hands of someone? No, we do not. But Chen's only 20 gold away from buying some, so that's no problem for them. The Na'Vi just send one up towards the north to pick up the rune. They won't actually get there in time. The Centaur's already sitting on top of that one. So they have to try and battle to secure this bottom one. Yeah. As far as going through Na'Vi's lineup, it's going to be Horvorst on the off lane, taking up the role as the Bristleback. Denny will be the Magnus in the mid. Both mids are going to have a little bit of a hard time with the blocks. Goldblack, in fact, probably should just run that direction right now. Because Denny's going to be late to getting to the block, which means Juggernaut, he gets a semi help. But Afo, who's going to... I actually believe, yeah, it's in the mid. It's in the mid. They both block it perfectly, that it has no effect on the equilibrium of the lane. But it'll be Dendy in the middle lane as the Magnus, and that leaves up on the top lane. Phobos is taking the Brewmaster. Safe lane with support from the Earthshaker. Now, Earthshaker can't really do much about pushing out a Centaur. As far as the Juggernaut goes, maybe you feel a little bit more confident about that. But it's both the SD as well as the Juggernaut. So it's the kill combination. Disruption into spin. That's all they're really searching for. Large amount of damage that can be done by that one. And a Vorst being run on an off-lane dual lane. We've been seeing Dazzle as well as the Bristleback being combined up. This time it's going to be the Wisp. And they should be able to zone out the Centaur quite nicely. Especially when you get a first one up in Nasal Goo. But this means, well, it's only Nasal Goo. But it's allowing Vanskor to dish out some nice physical damage into the Centaur. Stout Shield or no Stout Shield. With that negative armor kicking in on top of the Centaur, also gets the slow, so Vanskor gets more time to attack into him. That's not bad. But you kind of want to also look for these cool sprays. The Bristleback doesn't really have a mana pool to support this at the moment. And until Vanskor gets the bottle, he probably won't want to be spamming those cools anyway. Just using the Nasal Goo to keep Gorik away from the creep wave. You should probably also keep a closer eye up on top. Waiting for Dread. He's up to level 2, so we have Disruption as well as Catcher. Goldberg's going to screw with that quite a fair amount, primarily because he knows all he needs to do is drop the Fissure and catch the Juggernaut on the other side. So if he can split Phobos as well as Artis in apart, then he's done his job. Goddamn's looking for the denial on the rune. Tries it, but Vanskor just picks it up. So one little bounty for him, while Goldblack finds the Invis rune. I'll also notice too the fact the Storm Spirit doesn't really have a lot to play with, but Dandy's so low on life. Like Na'Vi's 6th player right now is coming in. And Phobos, is he? No. That's just the catcher on him, and there's no poison. Goldblack courier hunting. And that's enough damage to kill it as well. That's big. That's bigger than even attempting to kill overall on the Storm Spirit. Coming in with the Invis rune, dropping the totem. There was no way HR could have known about that because they're Observer wards. You got one which is very, very shallow on the bottom, lane, and one which is also very aggressive up on the top, which means there's no mid vision. The Storm Spirit is playing by himself, and now, for 2 more minutes, he doesn't have a bottle. Well, Denny's able to run his at will. But the Storm Spirit has still been winning as far as the harassment battle, as well as CS battle. 15-2 up against the 13-3 Dendy. And Denny's got no shockwave, and he's still up against a static remnant. And now even more trouble from the Chen. He did this previously, and this is the reason why Denny was also forced out of the lane. This tornado just chasing him to the ends of the earth. Godblack wants to help out, but there's not much he can really do. Like, this is the vision right now on the Radiant side. So the second he hits here, he's spotted. So Aphro's got a choice, and his choice is to run down the river. Dendy does have a shockwave and Skewer. The Fissure will connect, and there's your shockwave. Oh, Skewer's well off target, which means another static remnant. It's going to be in first blood. One more attack, and there it is. The Chen's actually going to take it from the high ground, but Godblack, they're trying to battle through the tornado. Gives a double kill over to HR. Split between the Chen as well as the Storm Spirit. And Chen with the levels sends the Storm back to base. So little to no time will be wasted by the Storm Spirit, because he'll heal up and TP back into the lane. And HellRaisers off to a terrific start. Na'Vi, that's the worst way that could have started. Because not only did they lose the 2 kills, but it's so insulting in the manner it happened. The fact that Denny was always so low. He was never getting the upper hand up against the Storm Spirit. You took out the bottle, so you thought, okay, we're gonna win this mid lane. So Denny stuck around, but he missed the Skewer. He needed that damage to kill off the Storm Spirit. Yes, Chen might have still got the kill, but the first blood would have gone the way of Dendy. But he just missed the Skewer positioning for it. And then Chen also comes in. They pick up the support hero as well. That's just emotionally shattering. How's their offlane looking? Elite's Bristleback, a Vorst at 24 for 6. He's looking fantastic. The Centaur still managed to find 12 for 2. As well as levels. Sitting underneath his tower now, so very, very safe. But he'll have that Stampede shortly, and that's going to buy Juggernaut the space to do some work up on top. But you think about it right now, like, the difference is, it's the Centaur going up against Phobos. So, 19-0 up against a 13-2. It's not that bad, but the advantage does go the way of Na'Vi on that front. But Artis, you still got a Juggernaut. At level 6, his kill potential to kill off that Brewmaster is going to be so good. And he's going to get level 6 as well before the Brewmaster does. Level 4.5 to almost at level 5. Dread, okay, it's time for Artis to come over. Phobos, he's actually stuck here. No, he's not. No, I take it back. There is a small path. I thought with the way he bumped back, it looked more like his pathing was telling him he can't go that direction. Interesting to watch as well, that middle lane. Both players now have hit their level 6. So RP as well as Ball Lightning's on the field. And Dandy's going to have to wait for this rune. Tread's going to come down, but he's not going to try and contest this. One Shockwave and a Skewer up. He knows he can just give an easy kill over to Dandy, but Dandy gets lucky. Regeneration rune will come his way. Looks like Chen denies up the rune on the bottom to Vanscore, so he cannot bottle. Spin from Artis will end up protecting him. That Fissure not going too effective up against Artis, but Dread it held him back for a little bit. They still get the kill over on the Brewmaster.
Is under attack.
So they're happy with that. And Gorek is going to have level 6 as this last creep's about to die. Even with the denial, it's still level 6. So Centaur can lend his Stampede if required. There's no Omni Slash yet for the Juggernaut. He's level 5.5, but as I said before, he's still ahead of Phobos. So they can find another kill in just a moment. Alright, Storm. Your time to kill Dandy is practically now. Yeah, he's got RP. You got 3 bottle charges up your sleeve. But these treads are... Actually, the treads can't fly out just yet because this... I just realized the courier's all the way back down the bottom lane.
I will not forget this.
But even being able to bay out the RP, you're a high maneuverable player, hero as a Storm. 663 mana pool is not really that much to use, but if you get your timing right... Maybe I'm actually getting... Nah, I'm a little bit delusional with that. Because when you think about it, Dandy shouldn't get caught out in that manner. If he does, then it's a huge mistake by him. Because he's got so many life points too. 900 life points to get through. Disruption, catcher. He'll be off from Dread quite nicely over from the Brewmaster. He gets the clap off, but the spin starts off from the Juggernaut. With the Stampede too, they're easily keeping up with the Brewmaster. So he'll drop. The level 6 is there from Juggernaut, and that's the reason why Goldblack's not coming back in to help. He threw the Fissure and left it at that. It's Van Score. Oh, Goddamn's got no easy way to chase after him. Especially with that tether available. Van Score moves back over to a Vorst, but the bottom rune, it was taken up by the Storm Spirit, and that's all Chen really wanted to do. Babysit it so he can get the extra advantage, which he now has. A double damage rune in for the Storm Spirit. Now he's got the kill potential up against Dendy. As you can see, how much damage Dendy can do with just one shockwave. So with an RP to control him, Storm Spirit could just ball lightning himself away. So they both end up hurting each other and not getting a kill. Unless someone is injured beforehand. At which point then Denny could potentially skewer into an RP, but the ball lightning is going to happen before he can do that. There's too much of an animation on the skewer from the Magnus. So you should see it coming from a mile away. Overall, HellRaisers with an advantage as well as the experience. They are of course running a Chen inside the jungle who's up to level 6. So Na'Vi don't really have anything else running like that. They have Dendy inside the jungle now trying to do a bit of flash farming with his own level 1 in power. So they give the middle lane to, what? It's not the Phobos, they're still just leaving it in the hands of Storm Spirit. In fact, they've just abandoned top lane. So this Juggernaut's able to free farm. But what are you going to do? Try and gank up on bottom? The Chen smoke's going to break. Phobos is the first one to be revealed here. Can he actually get the stomp off? Well, there's a Troll Trap to first stomp. Then Troll Trap on second stomp. Nuke still available as well from the Chen. As Brewmaster and a 400 life points, he's just going to go directly into the split. Disruption's available. In fact, they're just going to stampede themselves away from the Brewmaster split, including the army. The Chen army just backed up, so Brewmaster split's been kind of wasted. They can come for the Centaur, but he moves into the trees. They send him up into towards the air. Remember, Juggernaut still holds that TP scroll, and this is where Phobos comes back in again. Centaur's got no easy way to follow, but the Storm Spirit, he does. Gets the grab. There's no relocate from the Wisp to save him, and another Troll Trap already back off cooldown. The Hand of God giving the extra life points over to the Storm Spirit, and it's a mistake now to come in on Vorst. The War Stomp, maybe that would be a bigger mistake. Can't get the control on a Vorst. They need a little bit more of a hold. Vortex in 3 seconds time, but the Claws are starting to spray up. And with that, Dread's going to die on the next spray. Yep, there it is. RP from Dendy, catching up the Storm Spirit. A Vorst so low on life with the double edge. Storm Spirit, no more jump. He has to try to Soul Ring to get himself away a little bit further, but cannot do so. It's a 2 for 3 trade-off. Almost a Centaur going down to the rotating and Gold-Black Fissure. But for all this that happened, one man did not come. And that is Artis on the top. The Juggernaut refused to join the battle. Instead, he'll take the tier 1 tower on the top lane. So you just had a 3 for 2 trade-off in favor of HellRaisers. And the tier 1 tower on the top lane is forfeit for Na'Vi. Advantage, HellRaisers. Quite strongly. Because with all this fighting on the bottom lane too, the Centaur still did not die. And he was the first one they tried to initiate onto. Obviously with the Brewmaster ulti, which was wearing off, so that wasn't really the greatest initiation in the world. Only battling in mid, looks to be the case. And that Storm Spirit keeps the jump going, up, down, trying to make the Wisp go a little bit off the rails. One more poison in 1 second, and that'll be the kill. In fact, SD just does it the old-fashioned way. Dendy, can't skewer, has already used it. Now the Omni Slash, Dendy isolated. We get a 3 for 0 trade-off in the mid. The Brewmaster, the first casualty of war. Then they just managed to bait out nicely with the Wisp. And the Storm going back and forward. And then Dendy came in for... He had a Blink Dagger. He thought maybe he'd be able to get the advantage. The Shockwave was a nice amount of damage, but the Shadow Demon still managed to live. So now 10 to 2. The snowball is going uphill. Gravity has been defied by HellRaisers. And this Storm Spirit is progressing so quickly. A 3-1-5 Storm Spirit. 8 out of the 10 kills from Na'Vi he's been involved in. This Orchid is going to come up at a very nice time for him. The one death still hurts him a little bit, so it's not the greatest time in the world. But he's only a little bit behind a Vortex who's been having a great time in the offlane. They're starting to get a lot more physical damage out from this Juggernaut. Obviously, a Vortex being building into Vanguard and now going to go into a BKB. They have to rely on a lot more physical damage than just a Storm Spirit jumping in with an Orchid. But at least the Storm Spirit with the Orchid, all he's going to do is just jump on the Wisp. Stop the Wisp from doing anything, or potentially Godlike. In fact, Godlike, now I think about it, might be the better target to do this on. Disruption, catcher, and he's already got 2 points of poison on him. Make that 3 points of poison. Dread looking to dive, skewer up, 4 points of poison. Godlike just pops. The Hand of God will be triggered. Vanscott's going to come in to help out his teammate. So Denny will be able to get the kill over on Dread, while back in the middle lane, goddamn, controls up the force so he cannot chase any further. And Na'Vi, this is technically 4 heroes they brought to the middle lane for this. So with 4 heroes coming to the mid, you get a 1-for-1 trade-off. The Shadow Demon the first one to get the kill, while on bottom lane, the Juggernaut's now taking out the tower, and this physical damage starting to arrive. The SMY build, he's almost got, actually potentially could also go for the Manta. Whoop, RP caught out too. That extra TP got cancelled. That was up on the top lane. Stampede trying to spin yourself away on one, run yourself away on the other, and the Blink Deck is back off cooldown, which means that the tower attack will also be disjointed. Storm Spirit was the one that screwed up the TP of Phobos. He wanted to come down to that bottom lane and be part of that. Really? Nice pop-up. But they couldn't get it. The Centaur actually ended up dying, so I get to take it all back. The Magnus ends up killing off the Centaur. So I'm assuming Blink to Shockwave did the job. So that's another tier 1 tower to drop. Phobos, he can't, well, he does have his ultimate, but if he gets disruption on him when he jumps in, they could potentially nuke him the second he comes up. But now, expose him, no Chen nuke, actually disrupting him and cancelling up the ultimate. Godlike! Wow, that's big. Big Echo Slam from him. The Chen as well as the SD are forfeit. The Brewmaster, he still splits. The Storm Spirit ended up killing off the Wisp in the meantime, as well as the Bristleback. Juggernaut ends up killing the Bristleback by the looks of it. So Omni Slash. So it's still a 2-for-2 trade off the Bristleback as well as the Wisp going down for the SD Chen. That Echo Slam from Godlike. You just see him walking in. But by doing such a thing, now he's up to 2.1k gold. So next time he won't walk, he'll blink. And what does Na'Vi do? HR do? Just take out bottom tower. It's outside deny range. The creep wave won't get it because the dire creep wave will arrive before that. So it won't bring it into deny range. But it'll only take someone like a Juggernaut to walk up, hit it twice, and it'll go down. Maybe 3 times. He's got a Mask of Mana, so it may as well just be twice. In normal time. Goodbye, Centaur. Back to base. It's that Orchid timing I was talking about. Should be around 18 minutes, judging by the rate of this game so far for the Storm. But that will still mean he's going to get another kill before he picks up the Orchid. And there's no opening. And Na'Vi, with Nezuko being leveled up early on, surprised my brain didn't go to this beforehand. You could be looking at the Bristleback that's going in for an earlier Roshan. Because you got the negative armor and you got the buff up from Dendi. That is a level 4 in power. So the buff up's quite nice. And with the support of Vanscore, it shouldn't be too hard to go in for Roshan. I think their primary question is, where is HellRaisers? The Storm Spirit's going to reveal himself up on the top lane. You do have this Juggernaut now who's going to go back into Fog of War as that Dire Observer Ward gets taken out. Farming up inside the Radiant jungle. And the Radiant Observer Ward and Sentry is watching Na'Vi's movements going into Roshan. So Dendi, they did see him pick up the Invis rune. They would have also scouted him walking this direction. They don't know how far he's gone, if he's actually looking behind the tier 1 tower in mid. That's another possibility. Dendi saw Goddamn go into the trees. Hey. Because Dendi cut in really close. He thought Goddamn's in there, but Goddamn came back out again, using this little tree as cover. So Dendi lost vision of him. So Na'Vi's been running around in circles for the past 30 seconds. Where you've got a Storm Spirit farming up the Dire jungle. And you got a top lane being pushed out by an SD as well as a Centaur. Because now it's going to hoof double edge and take out the creep wave with a little bit of poison. So Na'Vi have to get Roshan and then do something with this Aegis the Immortal. Or else, really, it's all for naught. I'd also question, where is your Chen creep? Are you seeing players moving in and out of the pit? And Roshan's practically dead. So they're sending a Satyr over at the moment. But Roshan's dead before the Satyr will arrive.
Roshan has
Dendi with smoke, blink, RP, nice disruption. Can't skewer him back in range of the tower. Centaur able to stampede himself a little bit further away. And also blink at the same time, and Dread will just TP out, but not enough time. Not with an Earthshaker sitting that close to you. So the Shadow Demon will drop. The Stampede goes on cooldown. Fenscore is going to relocate back down again, but a Vortex is here with him. And now Omni Slash. Oh, he actually isolated Fenscore there. It was a level 2, so he might have had enough bounces to kill off the Bristleback. But decided just making sure he can kill off the Wisp was more important. He's got the initial slice. He was probably hoping to kill off both. And Navi was able to separate just fast enough. Storm Spirit, long jump. Near that Orchid. Stops Phobos from going for the split. So 18 minutes almost on the dot. And the Orchid's already very, very effective. Mana regeneration is a little bit slower for the Storm Spirit, but he's got himself an Invis rune. So doesn't require the huge amount of mana to jump this time around. But the Dire Observer Ward would have seen the TP coming in. Where are you going, Dendy? Blink up. Yep. Cutting across the wave nice and quick. Give a Force the buff up, and they bring 4 heroes to the bottom lane now. Which means Na'Vi have to be trying to force a fight. If they're going to do that, that means the only place they can find it is inside the Radiant jungle. Because they're not going to find it just pushing at the tier 2 tower. We go back into what was happening before, which is just trade time. The Centaur was buying himself some time to find his tank ability item. The Juggernaut was looking for his S and Y. Once over on the Courier, nothing but wards. Dread's got a bracer, as well as the urn, so that's nice for him. And Goddamn's got the full mech, and the start of a 4-staff. So that's a lot for HellRaisers to play around with. That's not going to stop a Force from beat into the tower. Fortifications available for both sides. Should also note too that cooldown timer, 20 seconds. Oh, relocate coming in on Dread. Just relocated for the SD, however, which means now Juggernaut feels very happy. Because both Centaur as well as Juggernaut will take the tower. Might be a bit of a problem, the fact that Centaur just disconnected out. But at the same time, this tier 2 tower stays numbered. Oh, I lost more too. Dendy drops, Juggernaut drops. Chen's out of the game. Centaur's out of the game. SD's out of the game. Whoa! Whoa! Everyone's out of the game! Including myself! Volvo, please! Oh, please no! Yeah! So that happened? Someone pulled Val's plug out. The life support's turned off. Please, turn it back on again. I was wondering why we're all just dropping like flies. Waiting for that D2CL chat to come up. When things go wrong. Dota episode number 1. It was a weird Wednesday night at 9 PM on the dot, when all of a sudden, the servers did crash. I can't even reconnect back in again. Maybe now would be the better time to go for that break we were talking about before. We'll see if we reconnect on this try, though. Unable to establish connection to the server. Game is safe to leave. But, yeah, no joy. We might be having ourselves a break. Part 2 of the VOD, you'll find it over on youtube.com/join Dota. But this is not the plan, Stan. It is not the plan. We'll be back. We're back in oh no, we are back. At least I'm back. What position are we in? The exact one we left in, because the pause is still there. But hello to everyone inside of Dota TV. I hope you survived the apocalypse that was Dota 2 dropping like that. Let's check it out, graphs. So, yep, okay, graphs are fine. Nothing lost. Alright, so, we're not dead. We're not dead. It looks like everyone dropped. Like, alright, everyone apart from our Whisper is still in here. Vanscore is back in. SD's back in the game as well. So we're alive. No need for our break. Well, okay. Well, while we've got a moment, let's actually have a talk about something, because I want to talk about D2CL. If you haven't seen it yet, I hope you're also enjoying what's going on with D2CL. Obviously, we were on Daily Motion previously. Then we decided to be alive, and we came over to Twitch, who are sponsoring this tournament, so big shout out as well to Twitch. You can raise the prize pool of D2CL. All you gotta do is just head in. You know, while we're here, you can just have a look. Just go watch the tournament. As you see right there, D2CL up to $13,550. So you can just buy the ticket, watch from inside the client as well, if that's what your heart doth desire. And we can raise the prize pool up. So it's already up at a nice amount. We do have some great teams playing in here as well. Burden United with a 2-0 victory last night. They did that one over NIP, who were looking to be one of the major favorite players in the D2CL until what happened last night, because they were 2-0. They played their first game up against virtus.pro. Actually, was it virtus.pro? No. Because they played 6 of their series. They got a 1-1 result up against Team Empire. And they got a 1-1 result up against HellRaisers. And then they had their 0-2, which basically Unknown took off them. But basically Unknown, that whole new Sing Sing team, getting a victory in the first round, especially up against NIP, is a big thing for them. But Team Empire, with their also 2-0 victory before, are sitting very snugly up at the top. They're 5-1 in their group, looking fantastic. And if HellRaisers keep this game going the way it is, then they'll probably be sitting right next to Team Empire, which would put Na'Vi into a really rough position. There are 8 teams, so you play 7 2-game series to get the results from our group stage. And that will allow, obviously, I believe only the top 4 teams to qualify themselves through. And right now, Na'Vi doesn't look like they're going to get anywhere near that. Not unless they start winning some heavy games. But they're up against... Well, if you actually look at their games before, they played up against Alliance, who are still trying to find their feet. That's Alliance's only game, by the way, the one up against Na'Vi, which happened yesterday. That was the 1-1 result for Na'Vi. And they also played up against Power Rangers, which was also a 1-1 result. Considering Na'Vi's track record up against Power Rangers, even if the roster of Power Rangers can massively change, whenever they play up against Power Rangers, they just seem to lose at least one game against them. So they've got a pretty tall ask coming up with their remaining games. Obviously, they've gone up against Empire and HellRaisers, the top 2 teams in there, but they've still got battles up against, well, I'd say virtus.pro, but I believe we've got some changes coming in with virtus.pro dropping out of the D2CL, or basically dropping out of everything. So, we do have a couple of game changes coming our way. I actually have to look into that and see what's going to happen with the D2CL. Because I'm not 100% certain what the plan is. Because I still see game schedule for VP to play. There's a game scheduled on the 16th, which is VP going up against Na'Vi. So, yeah, I'll get back. It might just be the VP Polar squad, so it all just gets merged into one. Because there's only one virtus.pro team in the D2CL. Both teams were not accepted into the D2CL. So it's only PR, Alliance, NIP, Na'Vi, VP, Burden United, HellRaisers, as well as Team Empire. That's all that's there. Nice, short, condensed format. Trying to make it nice and easy for the teams. They don't have to play through huge amounts of games, which oversaturation of the scene. And also just really just piss them off. That's what it can come down to. Alright, okay, really? Really? We keep on dropping out, so Volvo, please. It looks like our admins can't reconnect again either. So there's problems brewing. We'll go to a break. And we'll come back when everyone's back in again. So stay tuned. I'll give you consistent updates on what's going on. I might even just leave the screen up so you guys can see what's happening. But we'll be back in just a moment, everyone. So stay tuned.